Alright, the last application that we're going to talk about here will be Shutter. Shutter is basically it's a full rich screenshot program that's offered for Linux. It allows you to take screenshots of specific areas, windows, workspaces, whole screens, websites, submenus, etc., etc. It's really cool, really neat. Um, just in case you're not familiar with when I said workspaces, what that is, down here in the lower right hand corner, you have these little boxes. Each box you click on will take you to a different workspace. Alright, so let me show you how we open Shutter up. If we go to Applications, Accessories, you'll see Shutter listed right down here. You can click on that. It'll open up. You'll see an icon pop up over here. Another option will be to open your command line and type in Shutter. Either way. Now this might take a moment to update plugins and such as you do it. So here we have a session of Shutter that's running now, and you can see some of the options here for capturing. So we can do a selection with a drop down menu of advanced or simple, depending on how we want to capture. Play around with those and see how they work. We have a desktop functionality here. We can capture just a desktop, a current workspace, multiple workspaces all at one time. We can capture just a window, our active window, any other windows we have open on the system. But the purpose behind us getting familiar with this application is as we're performing different tools, tests on different operating systems or functionality of a client, we will want to record some of that output, and a picture can speak 1,000 words sometimes. We would rather just grab a screenshot that shows that we were able to access the password file on a system instead of having to type out all of the large section in a report. We found this account was there and this account was there and this account was there. Instead we just say, look, this is the process that we went through. We found this vulnerability, we ran this test against it, we were able to see your password files, here they are, here's a screen capture of what we saw. They can verify if it's the right accounts from their systems or not. So this provides you just a quick way of doing that. Here's what I want you to do for a lab. One, I want you to get familiar just playing around with what you can capture and how you can capture data here. But what we're going to do for a grade is capture all workspaces. So desktop, down arrow, capture all workspaces. You can see it's moving through down here, capturing everything it can. Boom, it just brought up a menu. This is all four of my workspaces that I have open and available here. Now within this I might want to take this and say, alright, cool, I got it, but now I want to edit. Over here now you have an editing menu where you can insert shapes and diagrams or highlight stuff. You have a pencil, a freehand pencil here that you can use. You can save, close, cut, copy, insert other images and such inside here. You got fill colors that you can put in the background. Use this text tool. That's what we're going to be interested in. We're going to click inside here and we're just going to type module 3 lab submission here. Click OK, and there you go. Now we have that saved there. We hit our save button and our image was just saved. It tells you right here the location of it, where something is saved at. So this is underneath our root home directory. We should see a PNG file called workspaces001. So we're going to come up here, we click on places, we click on our home folder, and there we go, workplaces 001. If you happen to open up this computer icon here, file system, scroll down, you're going to see root with a little picture of a home in there. You'll see the same thing. So just a longer way of getting there. Places, home, get you there, or you get used to moving through that file menu there. But here's what I want you to do for grading purposes. When you locate this file in here, and you're going to have to do this for these other documents as well. Actually this guy contains all of those compressions. You're going to grab this screen capture and any images from your earlier when we did our network settings, our static and such. But you're going to hold down your left mouse button and you'll drag this and you'll take it right off of your desktop here from your guest operating system and dump it right onto your host operating system. And I will show you something that I'm noticing with this version of VMware that can be a pain. I'm maxed out right now, my window, full screen. If I shrink it down, this is what I get. It will not auto reshape in size. Now we can go in there and adjust the display settings for our Kali system to give us a larger window to work in so that we don't have to expand this out and shrink it down. But when I get caught in this loop, I'm not real sure of how to get out of this. I'm kind of stuck in here without expanding this and then moving through here, going to accessories. I can jump into, come on, system tools, preferences, and I can jump into my system settings, check my display out, and I can shrink this guy down. But VMware still freaks out when I shrink this back down. So when I get into this loop, I basically expand. I save what I'm working on, and I reboot the system and log back into it to correct this. So if you run into this, there you go. If you try to drag and drop and this guy gets locked, he doesn't want to move and get you out of a window back to your host desktop, you might have to reboot as well. Not reboot your host, just reboot your guest operating system and let it boot back up. I've ran into that a couple times as well. But holding down the left mouse button, dragging this guy, getting it off of here onto your actual host desktop is how you can transfer those files to submit them to me. Again, you may have to reboot to clear this out so that this doesn't happen to you. But once that's complete and you keep the default size up there, you'll be able to drag and drop real easy. Once you're finished with that, you drag and drop those, you send those to me. We're going to be done with Kali for this lab, so it's lab 1 is all we have to work on. As you notice, I closed that shutter session out. That icon disappeared up here. When we're finished, when we're ready to reboot, we're going to open a terminal window and we're going to type power off. We're going to hit enter. It says the system's going to halt. It's going to run through a reboot process and we're going to be good to go.